Anyway, to continue my review on the 250 Ninja, why I chose this over, say, the 600s and some of the others. For me, realistically, the main reason was I haven't ridden in a while, actually almost 20 years, and I kind of just wanted to shake off some of the rust, and I'm thinking with one of the bigger displacement bikes I was going to get myself into trouble, so I went with the 250. And you know what, I'm kind of glad I did, because I hadn't been riding for so long. I guess, you know, I don't know if you consider riding a perishable skill, like shooting. You know, you don't practice, you get kind of rusty. And I noticed that, you know what, it was good for me to get started on a small bike again. Although I did notice I am picking up a few bad habits, which are going to be evident when I get my bigger bike, which is things like dropping the clutch and, you know, really being heavy on the throttle, having, you know, the throttle halfway open and so on, which I'm pretty sure if I do that with my ZX6, I'm going to end up on my ass and my bike's going to end up about 20 yards in front of me. But anyway, back to the 250. Everybody says it's really flickable, and you know what, I agree. The bike is really light. I don't know the exact weight. I think it's like 380 something or what have you, but going left to right, just turns, just think literally you can just muscle this thing around. It's like a big moped. It just handles really well, you know. So it's just, as far as taking turns, hammering corners, it's real easy to do. Not to mention, I had some of my friends that hadn't ridden before. They got started on bigger bikes, and they were really intimidated by it because they had basically the bike was too heavy for them. It was, you know, some of them were girls and some of them had dropped their bikes, and they luckily had, you know, Hawaii being the aloha state, had some really cool guys that, you know, were willing to help them pick up their bikes because they had trouble picking up their bikes. So with the 250, not to mention it's a little bit smaller. So I know 808 YouTube commented on this as far as the bike being a little better for people that are short because you can get your feet down on the ground. You know, with some of the other bikes, they're a little high, and being bigger displacement bikes, they just need a little more space to basically get their feet down on the ground. So this being a 250, as you can see, I just got onto the freeway. Acceleration, not bad. You know, the end result is it's a 250. I'm sorry, it's, you know, it's not a 600, 750. You're not going to be screaming off the line, but you know what? When you're getting started, it's more than enough. It's enough for it to be fun. With the mods that I've gotten on it done so far, I was able to get over 100, I think about a 105. I wasn't looking at my speedometer at the time, but the guy I was riding with told me that he was doing 105 and I passed him doing 105. So hey, you know what, not bad. Not that I condone you doing 105, my public service announcement, you shouldn't be doing 105, but you know what, hey, if you want the power, it's somewhat there. Bear in mind, you know, it still is a 250. You know, I'm 5'10", 185, so take that as you will. I mean, if you're a big buff guy, you're, you know, 280, you know what, I don't know if it's gonna go that fast for you, but, you know, but if you're one of our local girls that's, you know, 5'1", 110 pounds soaking wet, you know what, I think it's more than enough power for you. But anyway, so handling, the bike handles really well. I mean, literally, it just, you can just, it's kind of like you think it does it. It turns, it handles really well. I went with the stock suspension settings. The guys at Kawasaki, they set me up, handles really well. You know, bear in mind, I'm not pounding turns, I'm not dragging my knee and so on, but for just commuting and riding and getting a little bit of, you know, just getting out there having fun, you know, like over here we have Norfolk or 13 turns. It's really nice. You can go in there and get some twisties out of your system. You can go and do tantlets. It's a lot of fun, you know, just to get started. For anybody that's already ridden before, unless you want something that gets 50 miles, 60 miles to the gallon, if you've already had any type of riding experience, I think the 250, be it the Ninja or the CBR, I think the 250, I think you would get bored. that's just me. I had this for about 6 months, 7 months. I'm already bored. That's why I'm upgrading. You know, it is what it is. I'm gonna take a pretty huge loss on it, but you know what? That's okay, because you know I really want the bigger bike, and you know it's going to a good home. It's going to the guy that helped me basically convince my wife that I should be able to get a bike again. So realistically, I owe it all to him for being able to get back on a bike again, you know, because the wife was dead set against it. But you know who you are. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. You're in my prayers. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be on two wheels again. But anyway, yeah, I like it. The 250 is nice. I mean, I really can't complain too much about it. You know, it rides nice, and you know, it's a good bike. Sorry if you see me reaching back. I have the rear cowl, and unfortunately, okay, by the way, the Kawasaki rear cowl for the 250, there's a lock on it, but on the back, the only thing that holds it down is this little rubber grommet. So not super secure. So it's about $100. It looks really cool, but whether you consider it secure or not, that's up to you. It looks good. I'll leave it at that. It looks good. Gives me a little more room. Realistically, if anybody wanted to get into anything under my seat, they could just lift it up. So you know, it is what it is. Okay, so if you're wondering right now, this is kind of what our afternoon traffic is like in the island of Oahu. It's about 4:45. I'm heading out to the east side. I figure I'd go out to Sandy's and, you know, experience some of those turns that you see, I'm sure, on iRev 808s and 808 YouTube videos, a beautiful Hawaii east side coastline. It's one of my favorite rides too, growing up on that side. But anyway, I apologize, I digress again. Okay, the Ninjas. Things that I don't like about it. Okay. It's a 250. The power, it really isn't there. I mean, you've got to rev it high, you know, and you know, between 9,000 to 11,000. Oh yeah, the power band there is really nice. But you know, for all of you guys that ride with your friends that got 600, 750s, you know, 1,000cc bikes, when they decide to get up and go, all you see is their headlights, or their tail lights disappearing over the horizon. You know, you'll catch up to them in a while, but you know, so the power, not so good. Let's see, what else? I don't know, some people complained about the dashboard, the analog, it's not being digital. You know, for myself, I actually like it being analog. Maybe I'm old school, but I actually like the analog speedometer. It would be nice to have a clock and stuff, but you know what, realistically, I have a watch, so I don't really need a clock. But as far as being able to see everything, maybe it feels a little brighter. Sometimes about dusk, it's a little dark, and the backlit on the Speedo really isn't as bright as you would think it is. But you know, it's as you think it would be, but it's not. You know, it's not bad. Besides that, let's see, what else do I not like about it? That's about it, I guess. Realistically, the power, everything else, like the shifting, I think it's fine. Let's see. Insurance is awesome on it. I mean, I got really great coverages on this thing, and I'm paying about $500 a year. You know, because I got some of the other higher level coverage limits. Compared to my ZX6, I'm going to be paying almost double that. But also with that one, I went with the guaranteed replacement in case, God forbid, something happens. It's not going to be a depreciated value. They're going to give me the cost of a brand new bike of the same year and so on. But gas mileage on this thing is great. I mean, even if you go with a heavy throttle, I'm getting minimum, I think, 45 miles per gallon, which is really nice. I mean, my other vehicle is a G37. Wow. Joe, all kidding aside, it's like having an expensive, finicky girlfriend. She only eats expensive gas, and she likes to eat a lot of it. So, and she's high maintenance, but you know what? I love my car. So, but as far as the bike, gas mileage is really good. I've heard some people putting bigger tires on it. For me, I don't know if that's necessary unless you're really going to be dragging your knee and so on. I mean, the tires that I got on it are stock. Works out fine for me. In the rain, it seems to be okay. I'm not somebody who goes, mental in the rain. I try to keep it under 60, 70 in the rain, but it seems to handle okay for me. Stock, if you get the bike stock, do yourself a favor and even though it is a 250, get louder pipes, because the existing pipes that come with it, it's heavy. It's big cylinder. It looks like it should be a Gatling gun basically on the back of your bike, but then it's heavy and the sound is just terrible. I mean, it just literally made me want to jam sharpened pencils in my ears when I revved it up. It was just ugly. Whatever exhaust you get, anything aftermarket I think will sound 10 times better than what it had. And loud pipes, they say loud pipes save lives. I agree with it. There's been a few times where just by revving it, people have looked over, they noticed I was there, and it's nice. That and the HIDs really help, because unfortunately in Hawaii, I don't know if it's a Hawaii option thing, but people's cars apparently don't have turn signals because it seems like a lot of people don't use them. But for me, the louder pipes and the HIDs really help to, I guess, people let me know that I'm there. Anyway, so for now, that's I guess pretty much my review on the bike. I mean, you guys any questions or comments, go ahead and let me know. But besides that, I guess you all have a good one, and I guess remember, just keep the rubber side down. Have a good one.